When you come out of the spiritual dark night of the soul, you go into a stage called higher learning. And I can tell you, it's the greatest relief ever when you come out of the spiritual dark night of the soul. Everything just kind of clicks back on in the space of 24 hours. If you are clairaudient, typically this is where you're going to start getting language. This 65% milestone is when the language comes through. But higher learning has got its own challenges. It's called higher learning for a reason. And really, this is the stage where you're going to see transformation, because you're probably going to change things in your life. You might have already been thinking about them, but this is when you're most likely to take action. And you're also going to start to experience a true elevation of consciousness. This is where this starts to happen. It's a bit of a preview to ascension. You hit an important milestone during higher learning. You hit the milestone of 80% integration. And at 80% integration, you can no longer go backwards. You can't de-integrate, or at least you probably can, but only if you completely gave up all your spiritual practice. So what tends to happen is when we come out of the spiritual dark night of the soul, everything switches back on, and it feels a lot like connection. It feels like late connection, because our team is reminding us, hey, this is a real thing. You're in a real process. Yes, we had a bit of a gap and you had to go through that nasty bit, but it's still what you think it is. But then when we hit the 80% integration, we no longer need to have all the bells and whistles. So what you will notice is everything starts to calm down a lot. We still have our gifts. We still have communication with our guides. We still understand awakening, but we really start to reach a more of a peaceful frame of mind, which is when we can start really thinking about inner peace. It starts to come at the end of higher learning and into ascension. But higher learning can take a while. Sometimes people come out of the spiritual dark night of the soul and they're just a bit, over it for a while. I know I went very slowly through higher learning, but I have also had a client go through this phase in about 2 months, 2 or 3 months. So it's very variable, and a lot of it will depend, what you still have left to work on in the system, and what you need to change in your life. Releasing what doesn't serve you is the major theme of higher learning. That's really what you're going to do a lot of, whether it's internal or external. Higher learning ends when you're 100% integrated with your higher self. Hurrah, it's an awesome milestone. A lot of people get little celebrations in meditation. Their teams and soul group will come and celebrate with them. But that doesn't mean that your journey is over.